This is Majbeen Baloch from Pakistan, and you're watching my YouTube channel Insani Ittihad, which aims to invoke a little bit of humanity in all of us through awareness and understanding. So yesterday on the Independence Day of Israel, later at night there was this terror attack in Elad, in the very Orthodox Jewish community. And three people were unfortunately murdered by Palestinian terrorists, and I think four were seriously injured. So today is Shabbat. I wanted to make this video to convey my condolences for the life loss, and for prayers for the recovery and health of the people who are wounded, not just the people who are wounded physically, but people who are wounded emotionally, the families of the deceased, the three deceased martyrs. And I would like to tell the enemies of Israel and these terrorists and their families and all the people who support terrorism in everywhere, and in particularly in Jewish communities and in Eretz Israel specifically. If they think that these terror attacks in Orthodox communities would scare the religious Jewish people to live in Eretz Israel or leave Eretz Israel, or not try to move into Eretz Israel, I think they are very much mistakenly thinking that this will happen, because halachically it's a halakha that a person who is living in Eretz Israel should not leave Eretz Israel, as that is the most holy and sacred place. And if Hashem has put this person in this place, in this holy place, he or she must not leave Eretz Israel unless it is for educational, Torah educational purpose, temporary purpose. First of all, it has to be temporary, either for doing business or for economic reasons, or if somebody has a property outside and they need to take care of it, or they have a business outside, they need to visit and take care of that business, or to find shidduch, like a spouse for them, and then come back to Eretz Israel with their spouse. And basically, it is a halakha not to leave Eretz Israel once one has inhabited or built a home or a life in Eretz Israel, because that is the privilege and honor Hashem has purposely given to a Yid, given to a Jew, to be there and inhabit that holy land. So particularly and specifically, if the enemies of Israel and these terrorists think that people who are more religious and who seem to be more peaceful and are less, say, aggressive, so to speak, they will be scared off easily and they would leave. They cannot leave halachically as per their religious faith. If they are there in Eretz Israel, they feel that it is a divine purpose that they are fulfilling. So if these people, these terrorist people, think that if we can go into these very Orthodox communities, very religious communities who are very peaceful and very aggressive, we can scare them off, I think you're mistaken. It was the highly religious people who stayed in the most difficult circumstances in Eretz Israel under Ottoman rule, under all those pagan rules, and the most religious are the ones for whom it is very, very difficult to leave Eretz Israel under any difficult circumstances. So my advice to these terrorists and, anti-Semites in Israel and outside Israel, your effort would be in vain. The neshamas of these three souls would have a return to Eretz Israel, as we do believe in reincarnation, in the lens that a soul's purpose has to be fulfilled. And if somebody murders someone, or sends that soul back to Hashem will send that soul back to earth to finish the purpose of that soul, and only then that soul can go and unite with Hashem. So a very, very sad night. Condolences to the family and friends who lost wonderful friends and family member. All of these men had little children. Some had 5. The 2 actually had 5, and there was this one person who had 6 children. Their spouses, many wishes and prayers for them, for the patience, for the persistence, and may the memory of these deceased fathers, these friends, these family members be a guiding light and inspiration to make Eretz Israel the home for every Jewish soul. And definitely there are sacrifices to be made for Eretz Israel, and these souls have made, these people have made a huge and these families have made huge sacrifices for Eretz Israel, and there is no one who can scare these children, their mothers or their families, to leave Eretz Israel. Best would be stop trying and try to look for a future which is peaceful and respecting and inclusive. But yeah, it is very, very sad to actually hear such news coming out of Eretz Israel personally. So light those candles today, Shabbat. Remember these souls, their families, their children, their friends into your prayers. Pray for them, pray for Eretz Israel, pray for peace. Only if there is peace in Eretz Israel, there can be peace in the rest of the world. So Shabbat Shalom to the families, to the people who are wounded and recovering. Shabbat Shalom. May Hashem guide our ways and protect us from such evils. And thank you. Shabbat Shalom again.